Okay, welcome everybody. The J&T GSLC podcast, and we're up to number 9 here, joined by Tim.
Hello, everybody. Thanks. I guess we still haven't got a cease and desist order, so we're back again.
And to my left is our treasurer for Good Shepherd, Cory, and she's joining us to go over some financial numbers from last year, the previous few months, next year or this year's budget, a bunch of numbers. We can help people kind of get an idea on where we are, where we've been, where we are, and where we're going towards. So, and Cory, if you want to share, kind of how long you've been a member and what you like about Good Shepherd, be good.
Oh boy, I've been a member for about 50 years. So that's somewhat showing my age.
You joined before you were born?
That's for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Was baptized here, I think, when I was 18 months old. So it's been a long time that I've been a member of Good Shepherd, and I'd like to basically show the church that I'd like it to continue that way. So very much interested in the financials of the church moving forward, along with membership and our commitment to our church community.
Excellent.
Cool. We had Dorian, who was baptized here too, I think, a while ago. Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, there's a few of them that were baptized here. Well, why don't you tell us, why don't we just start with how the year went in total, as far as how much in donations did we get for the year?
For 2022, our total contributions came to $237,000, and our total expenses for 2022 came to $284,000. So we were over what we had for our income, and we did use money from the general fund to support what we did not have for contributions. We are still okay for our general fund. We did not deplete that, so we are good for right now. And without a senior pastor at this moment, we have been running about $2,000 in additional income over our expenses the last couple of months for 2022. For 2021, our income, if I just go back a little bit, our income was $254,000. So we did drop considerably for 2022. And then when we had to try to put a budget together, we looked at what we thought we could do possibly for 2023, and we put that at $260,000. So it is a goal for us to do that. We did do our stewardship for all seasons for a contribution drive. So we're hoping that we can do that. And then when we looked at our expenses this year, we really went more line by line item and looked at what we could trim down, and we did considerably trim down a lot of our expenses. So we're looking at expenses this year at about $246,000. And so if our budget of $260,000 does come in for income, we'd actually benefit by about $13,000 this year. So we're looking fairly well on the aspect of financials if we can work within our budget for 2023.
And so I just want to, say thanks to Cory for putting some extra time into this too, because, going line by line, kind of looking at the last couple of years, seeing what we really had for expenses. And so Cory's really went through this to get a more accurate, I believe, more accurate expense. So I think it's just going to be more accurate, and moving forward, I think it'll help as well. Now we got to point out, obviously, we don't have a senior pastor, so numbers, are looking better in that respect. We have about $10,000, I believe, in the budget for pastor pastor supply expense. So,
I think people always want to know, can't we just cut expenses to make it work? Whenever I look at the budget, you cutting. My sense, and I'd be interested to hear what you guys think, but my sense, whenever I look at the budget, is cutting any more would fundamentally change who we are to the point that it wouldn't recognize us.
yeah, I mean, you always run into that situation. I mean, the more you cut, the more identity, I guess, is kind of cut as well.
Yeah, a lot of our expenses are staff. We're down to 2 staff.
Right.
Building, we can't. Changing our building would fundamentally change who we are. There really isn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of set expenses that, I mean, utilities, I mean,
Right.
snow
plowing, right?
those are pretty well.
Right, our
set.
fixed cost alone is budgeted at $215,000. And our fixed cost is our staff, our administrative expense as far as office supplies, insurance, phones, internet, things that we use in the daily life of our church. And then our computers, copier machine, and then buildings and grounds, mortgage, things like that are all fixed expenses. The only thing that we have in variable expenses is about $31,000, and that's in education, music, evangelism, nursing, missions, and committees. So our big expense is our fixed income. And so, like Tim and Josh said, we did really trim down and look at the numbers this last year.
Yeah, it's just really hard to cut your way to success. So,
It is.
And so we're budgeted to spend about 260, Nick. Yeah?
Correct. We're
Or no,
income.
246.
246.
Budget 246 for expenses.
And if we added a full-time senior pastor would add plus or minus another $80,000 to that probably, which would put us at 320. This year's total donations were 237,000. So to get a senior pastor, we'd have to add $80,000 to the donations next year. So that's like a 30% increase, which is, it's one thing to
Pretty
raise.
drastic amount.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty drastic amount to come up with. So obviously we're still working through the pastor issue and how that's going to be and where we're going to go with that. But that's in case people are wondering why we haven't called somebody by now.
Right.
It's because the one of the reasons is we can't support a full-time pastor at this point in time.
One of the processes that calling a pastor to, when we've talked to it on council and have been advised, it takes about a year to go through the process of putting our resume out and then getting a pastor to actually put their resume out and interview process and things like that. So it's not a quick fix. It is about a year or more process to even go through everything that we need to go through as a church.
Yeah, and we've mentioned that before, so, we're just kind of trying to keep people updated about that it is a process and
Yeah, and just so people know, right now our expenses are a little bit less than our donations. We aren't in the business here of making money. We, as you already said, we went through $50,000 of reserves in 22. So we do need to have some reserves. Right now, we really don't have much of any. So right now, we're if we are going to call somebody, having some reserves will make that a little bit.
Right.
Until we kind of grow into that, we'll make that a possibility. So I think that's a good situation. And I think for 23, we seem to be fiscally, if our donations stay the same or increase, we should be.
Should be fairly comfortable, not comfortable, but even.
We should be even. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, what else?
I don't have a whole
it
lot of
kind of
anything
sums it up
else.
financially.
Hopefully, if people have questions, they can certainly reach out to me or Josh
Absolutely.
or Cory. Probably just through the church office is the easiest. They can give you our phone numbers or emails or whatever. We certainly are always glad to take questions on that. It is good to see us, I think, on a little bit of stable footing, and hopefully moving forward, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Cory. Thanks for all you do.
Cory.
Always very impressive. You're the most prepared person on the council, I think. I think we got the right person on the job.
Yep.
All right, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Thanks for coming in. Hey, we're back, Josh. I do like the stocking hat look.
Oh,
It's
well, thank you. Yes,
very
it's very
stylish.
cold
Makes you
out.
look young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes you look young.
Okay. That's what I'm going for.
I guess just to clarify something that came up around the building or the scuttlebutt, Kartika got her green card, which means she's a permanent resident. It's different than full citizenship. Basically, the difference is that she doesn't have to vote or can't vote. Other than that, she is a permanent resident. She doesn't need any further visas, visa work, et cetera, et cetera. Some people with green cards progress to citizenship, and some people don't. They usually just stay with that status, so that'll be an individual decision up to her, but we don't need to worry about visas or anything like that anymore. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Some other good news wanted to bring up. We just had our 4 new council members installed yesterday, and Jen Holcomb, Craig Netzer, Dia Arpin, and Andy Walters. So we have an actual full 12-member council. I think that's been a while since we've had a full 12, so I think that's pretty awesome that people are willing to step up and do that. So
Great.
looking forward to that. And
People should think about joining council. I love
agree.
my.
I'm on the nominating committee, so
Yeah, they got a year to think about it.
they got a year to think about it. And
But
I'll be here waiting
it's
for 'em.
really, I thought it was really educational, really fun, and really good way to get to know people. And I enjoyed my 6 years on there very much.
Yeah, I mean, you get to learn a lot and interact with a lot of people that you might not. And,
As with
and
most-
the people are real nice.
With most things, I think when you get back way more than you ever give up. That's for sure. Yeah.
And they will be electing a new council president this coming Valentine's Day, I believe.
Well, so that means you're done. Your service is done.
yeah.
Well, you've done a great job.
Oh,
Stocking hat aside, and you had a tough tenure, and I want to thank you from everybody here. You've been very impressed. You're really growing into the job, and you really helped us through some difficult
well,
times.
thank you for helping me along the way as
Yeah.
well with some questions I had and lifting my spirits, I guess. But I thought maybe, if we have a new council president, we would invite him to the podcast next time.
Episode number
Or
10.
him or her. We don't know. So that's kind of new and exciting. Also, the ministry site profile that we've been talking about for a while now, we have a meeting next Wednesday on the 8th. That's not next Wednesday, is it? Yeah. Right?
The 8th?
Yeah. February 8th?
Yeah,
it
it was
the
a
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Okay. So Wednesday the 8th, and that is going to be at 6 o'clock here at church. So anybody that is, wanting to learn about that or wanting to participate, we'll kind of go over the sheets, paperwork that we need to fill out and answer questions about our congregation and our ministry here. So if you'd like to get involved, like I said, 6 p.m. next Wednesday. Also, Ash Wednesday's coming up.
February 22nd.
Correct.
And
Now, there's not going to be a meal for that
services at
after that
5:30.
service.
Ash Wednesday's at 6:30.
Ash
Ash
Wednesdays
Wednesday.
at 6:30.
Yep.
We'll have a poster.
And we'll,
And then,
but that is different than the other services.
yes, starting March 1st will be service at noon and 5:30 with a meal to follow each service.
Meal to follow each service.
Yes.
But Ash Wednesdays at 6:30. We will have a Pastor
Rich Block.
Rich Block, so there will be communion, and that will be at 6:30, and there will be no meal.
Correct.
Okay. It's that time of year already.
Yeah, it is.
Days are getting longer.
Sneaking up on it. Yeah.
You wouldn't know it today, but it's getting warmer overall. Yeah.
Well, the sun's out at least, right?
Right. The sun's out. Right. It's still up at 5 o'clock at night. So
Okay.
that's
what else?
it. I think
I
that's
think
it.
we've covered a lot of stuff.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Have a good month. We'll be back with you, I guess.
Till next
Huh?
time.
All right. Thanks.